Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition, a spring edition of Bangle Magazine. Glad you're with us today. We have a diverse show. Up first is our new cross-country head coach and assistant track coach, Ray Shadowens, will be joining us. And then Charles Lapierre from Quebec with the men's hockey team, but we're not going to talk hockey. Charles is coming on to talk about moving from French to English. And Mark Howlett then joins us, entering his non-traditional season, the men's soccer coach. And Mark is bringing along Dan Aguilar Lobo, a sophomore from Brentwood, New York. We'll also have the Tim Hortons Athlete of the Week. Joe's versus Pros takes us outside. And of course, Bangle update with Lazarus. So we're going to take a quick time out. And when we come back, we're going to do a little running cross country with Ray Shadowins. All right, we're joined by a former guest of Bangle Magazine. So this is funny. This will be an interesting test for Bangle Magazine viewers. Do you remember this guy? If you do, you're really good. Go back to 2009 when Ray Shadowens was a student athlete here at Buffalo State. Ray, you're now the head coach of the men's and women's cross country team, also assistant track coach. So welcome to Buffalo State. Welcome back.
Hey, it's good to be back.
Absolutely. And you're getting paid this time.
It's
even all good right now.
Makes it even better.
Absolutely. For the viewers who may not remember you from 5 years ago or 6 years ago, give us a little bio background on you.
As far as the Buffalo State aspect of it, I ran track and field, mostly focused on that. Multi-event guy, did a little bit of everything. Had a little success in the hurdles and some of the field events.
Humble.
But the biggest thing was, pretty much, maybe I didn't throw the hammer. Maybe that was the event I didn't do.
Okay.
But I had a little bit of base on every event, and that kind of led me into my coaching. My degree wasn't in health and wellness or kinesiology, but
hospitality and tourism, I believe.
Yeah, and more business-based stuff
Right.
like that. And then kind of my senior year, I started talking to Coach Lewis, who's obviously still here, to get into coaching. And he said, "Well, you've already set yourself up being a multi-guy." So starting out, fortunately enough, I was able to apply. It wasn't, here's a jumps coach, here's a hurdles coach, here's a sprints coach, here's a distance coach. Luckily for me, I could apply for all those jobs because I had a little bit of base. So as far as the coaching, went to Roger Williams first year, very part-time, starting a new program. Coached a couple of different events, and then that led me into Bates College.
Right. So far, so good.
Yeah, went to Bates College, had some great success there. It was kind of an internship position, but they also, besides coaching, they really wanted somebody that wanted to make a career of this, so they helped me with some certifications.
Okay.
And then that's kind of where I started really diving in more into the distance running.
Okay. That took you to Pacific?
And then that took me to Pacific after, out in Oregon.
And then now here.
And now back to Buffalo.
All right, so let's recap. It was really originally from Texas. Get a load of this now. This guy's been all over the place. Texas, where you grew up.
Yep.
Buffalo State for college. Then we went to Roger Williams in Rhode Island, over to Bates College in Maine, out to Pacific University in Oregon, and then back here to Buffalo State. And you have frequent flyer miles. You can fly forever now, right, for free, basically.
I'm working on it.
I'm
working on it.
And I should say you're humble. You were the conference champion in the 110-meter hurdle, I believe, in 2008-09 season.
Yeah, that's after All-American, now Hall of Famer Mario Hicks graduated.
Right.
I finally got a chance there.
You got out of his shadow, as you told me before. You're here, started in March. You've got a month underneath your belt. What have been your top priorities as the head coach for cross country?
For the head coach of cross country, like you said, we're in track season. I work with the distance runners there, and we have a few men and women that are rolling over. My biggest thing is just establishing with them the kind of style I'm going to bring. Even though, by no means are we trying to sacrifice the track season, but, there's no need to wait till the fall for them to find out what kind of coach I am.
There you go.
So we're doing that, and the big thing is just kind of what kind of attitude I want from them.
Okay.
We've had great success in the track and field.
Yes.
And just letting them know I'm not I'm not here just to ride those coattails. I'm here to build the cross-country program up to where we want. So intensity's kind of coming up, attitude's changing a little bit, but that's been the biggest thing, just not waiting.
And from a recruiting standpoint, what are your priorities right now?
For the recruiting, same thing. Obviously, in a sport like running, track and field, cross country, day of the internet, you can always look up numbers. You can look up numbers all day until you go crazy.
There you go.
But it's getting out there and establishing myself with more than just the runners, but establishing myself with the local coaches all throughout New York, and just let them know that the perception of Buffalo State cross country is changing. Okay. And whatever they have, just throw it away.
Now, you had mentioned earlier, we've got about 3 minutes left in the segment, that you are certified, and you're certified, as I did my research, as an endurance event specialist.
Yeah.
What does that mean, and how does that relate to what you're doing now?
Yeah, so everything used to be ran by USA Track and Field, which was great. It was kind of our governing body, but they were more focused on the national level. Now we have the USTF CCCA, US Track and Field Cross Country Coaches Association, and it's really focused on the collegiate level. And so what they've done is you build yourselves up. You could actually some of the USA Track and Field can come over, but essentially you take steps. And the endurance event specialist was an opportunity I got to go down to. I think it was at Rice in Houston. Wow! Spent a week down there. And essentially with coaches from all around the country. For a week we talked distance running, learning anything from biomechanics, physiology, to race strategy, to nutrition. Like you just throws you all in there, and at the end you take this long test, and then they send you this very expensive piece of paper.
There you go. Absolutely. But that's a tax write-off, so don't worry about that. Well, Ray, I wish you the best of luck, and welcome back to Buffalo and Buffalo State College, and get out of this chair and start recruiting for us.
Absolutely.
Good luck.
All right. Thanks,
We're going to
Tom.
take a quick break, but before we do, it's time for Bangle Update with Lazarus.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Bangle Update. I'm Lazarus Lynch with a recap of news and look at upcoming events surrounding Buffalo State athletics. Softball continues to gear up for the conference playoffs, going 4-4 over an 8-game stretch this past week. The Bengals split a doubleheader against Oneonta on October 18th. In their 11-1 win, the Bengals pounded out 10 hits, led by 2 hits, each from Stephanie Nova, Joanna Bartek, and Danielle Simkowiak. Senior Taylor Switek continues her hot batting. During the 8-game stretch, she batted .520 with 13 hits and 25 at-bats. Bartek leads the Bengals in hitting .420, followed by Switek at .407. The Bengals wrap up their regular season with doubleheaders on April 25th against Fredonia and April 26th against Ithaca before heading into playoff action on Thursday, April 30th. The women's track and field continues its march to the conference championships with success at Baldwin-Wallace last weekend. The Bengals dominated 200 and 400-meter dashes with Sasha Vaughn, Jazzy Porter, and Nyasia Hoop, sweeping the top 3 places respectively. Treasure Glimp was a double winner in the high jump at the triple jump, while Shuntone Pricher won the 100-meter dash and Dominique Mitchell took the long jump. Kat McNamara set a school record in the 5,000-meter run, her first meet of the season. Men's track and field also competed at Baldwin-Wallace, led by triple winner Corey Cox. Cox took first in the 100-meter dash, the long jump, and the triple jump. Robert Leibel won the 400-meter dash, and Austin Becker took the 800-meter run. Both the men's and women's teams now wait the conference championships on May 1st and 2nd. Women's lacrosse closes out its regular season this Saturday, April 25th, by hosting Cortland at Coyer Field. Game time is 1 p.m. And finally, the annual Athletics Award Banquet is Tuesday, May 5th in the Social Hall of the Student Union. Tickets are $25. To reserve your tickets by April 27th, contact Assistant Athletics Director Jeff Ventura at 878-6030. For Bangle Magazine, I'm Lazarus Lynch.
Well, just another reminder, everyone, that the Bangle Club Golf Classic is coming up, rapidly coming up, about 2 months away on Monday, July 13th at the beautiful Briarwood Country Club in Hamburg, New York. All proceeds benefit the 400 student athletes and their programs here at Buffalo State. It's a great day of fun and friends and a great golf out on a golf course. If you're interested in playing, please give my office a call at 878 6514, or visit our website and click on the Bangle Club banner on top of our website, and you can download the brochure and send it to me, and you will be registered for this year's Bangle Club Golf Classic on Monday, July 13th. We're joined now, I don't know if you play golf or not, Charles, but Charles Lapierre, did I say that correctly, Charles?
Yes, that's fine.
From men's hockey, is joining us, and even though it's spring, we're going to talk not hockey, we're going to talk something else, but how did the hockey season go for you, by the way?
Pretty good, actually. There was a lot of ups and downs. We had a lot of adversity. We played against top teams in the country a lot. So yeah, we had kind of a roller coaster year, but I think we grew a lot, and considering the fact that pretty much everyone's coming back next year.
Right.
We had 10 freshmen, I think, this year. It's really exciting.
It is exciting. Did anybody tell you have an incredibly deep accent?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You're from?
I'm from Quebec in Canada.
Yes, in Canada.
Yeah.
But what is the name of the town?
The town is named Saint-Marc-de-Figuerie, which is a little village right by,
oh my gosh.
Amos.
It is just so cool to hear that. And really, here you are also speaking English, which is one of the reasons you're on the show. Notice how I got right into that. Interesting story. Charles happens to be the top GPA student athlete at Buffalo State right now with a 3.94 GPA. Congratulations.
Thank you.
But the true story is that up until 5 years ago, you were just speaking French, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. 5 years ago, I didn't speak a lick of English.
A lick of English. I love that.
Yeah, and so when I was younger, I was 16 years old, decided to leave home to go to Quebec City.
Hockey?
To play hockey and go to school at the same time. I always kind of try to balance, hockey and school life. Then from there, I got recruited to Upper Canada College, a college in Toronto. And, I decided, why not? So I can learn, to speak English and go to a really good school and play hockey.
So in that college, were there also French speaking, or is
No.
it all English then?
It was all English. Actually, one of my teammates of this year, Brody Power, also went to Upper Canada College.
Okay.
And so I played with him there. If you ask him how my English was when I got there, he can tell you it was horrible.
You didn't speak a lick.
I didn't speak, no. And I don't think he was my friend the first year because I couldn't speak English really. So that was hard, but no, yeah.
Well, I've got to ask you though, then you knew it was English-speaking college and you were a French-speaking student athlete. Why do it? I mean, what pushed you to say, I'm going to do this?
I had a couple of friends who, went to BC to learn English and stuff like that. And, I've been told, 1 month, 2 months in, you're like getting used to it. And then it's easier than it looks, especially if you're into it, like you don't have a choice.
Right.
You have to speak English. You have to learn it, right? It's not like English classes where you get out of the class and you start speaking French again. And it doesn't do anything for you, really. So I decided, why not? And I went. The first month were really, really hard, obviously, headaches at night and like everything, like is trying to translate and stuff like that. But
were you taking English classes at the time too, or are you just going to class and trying to learn this?
I was just going to class and trying to learn at the same time. That's the easiest way to learn a language.
Wow.
Well, easiest. It's the hardest way to learn a language, but it's the fastest way to learn a language. So yeah, within the first 2 months, I could pretty much understand all my teachers pretty well.
Okay. Incredible.
But then the hard part, obviously, was really, hanging out with the guys from the hockey team, and that was really hard. And when I got there, one of the French kids that did the same thing told me, get in more sports team. So I got in the football team, and then I played hockey. I got in the tennis team.
There you go.
I like to go out a little bit and stuff like that. So that helped me a lot. I didn't stay in my room, but it was hard at first. Like learning the slang language was really, really hard.
I bet. I was just about to ask that. So getting back to that, my question: have you ever taken classes in English in the language?
Yeah, like earlier, like in high school, we had English classes, but it was, it was a joke. You didn't have to do anything, and you'd get 95, 100%.
But certainly not since college. This is just learning on your own.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations are going out this week to Taylor Switek from the softball team. Taylor is the Tim Hortons Athlete of the Week. The senior health and wellness major extended her hitting streak to 20 games. She posted a .520 batting average, going 13 for 25 with 5 RBI and 3 runs scored in an 8-game week last week, helping the Bengals to a 4-4 record. The third baseman currently ranks 8th in the conference, batting .407. So again, congratulations to Taylor Switek. She is this week's Tim Hortons Athlete of the Week. And we're going to stay outside and talk, believe it or not, men's soccer right now. It is spring season, and the men's soccer is a fall sport. But this is what they call the non-trad season, the non-traditional seasons. And joining us is Mark Howlett, the head coach, and Dan Aguilar Lobo. What a diverse show we have today. I love it. His sophomore. So, gentlemen, thank you. Mark, what is a non-traditional season, and what does the NCAA allow you to do?
So basically, we are allowed 15 practices and 1 date of competition.
Okay.
In that date of competition.
1 day of competition.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in that date of competition, you have 8 hours to get in 180 minutes, so 2 games.
So 2 games.
So what we look for really is our work that we've done in the off season to go over game film and a lot to do with the conference really to see what our downfalls were and what we need to work on in creating the system that's going to work better for us this year and implementing that in the spring.
Well, Dan, is there anything you do from a student-athlete perspective in this non-traditional season? Do you just kind of follow the routine, or are you working on specific things for your game?
Yeah, I'm working on specific things on my game, like being more explosive, getting faster on the ball, moving, our touches. We hit the weight room once.
That's all right.
What's it called? We hit the weight room every week.
Good. Okay.
We got practice where we have like a 1v1 league tournament that we do.
Right.
And that's going pretty well right now.
So in all that area, you're working on specifics of your game, along with what Coach wants you to work on as a team.
Yep.
How difficult is it, though, because I'm assuming we've lost some people to graduation or whatever. What is your roster size down to now, and how do you cope with that?
We're at about 15.
Okay.
Yeah, it's tough because ultimately, a lot of things require some more people to add pressure. But a lot of it is making sure each individual understands their role within the team.
There you go.
So it's a lot of tactical stuff, a lot of pattern play, a lot of movement in the areas that they need to on the field. So although the pressure isn't there, they're really trying to understand the patterns both defensively and offensively.
So you had mentioned 1 day of competition the NCAA allows, and you have scheduled DeUville, the New York State Olympic Development Team, and then Canisius College, which is, wow, you have diversity there. You have Division III, Division I, and an Olympic qualifying type team, development team. But they're not a whole game, are they? I mean, they're just 45 minutes, I believe.
The first 2, we're going over to DeUville, and we play DeUville for 45 minutes, so half a regular game, and New York State West Olympic Development Program for half a game. And then we're going to come back here and host Canisius in a full game, full 90 minutes.
Okay.
So.
Is that a lot for you in one day, or is that something you look forward to?
I mean, it's kind of a lot, but we look forward to it because, we've been working hard this whole spring season, and I think Coach expects a lot from us, so we'll get through it.
So is the 45-minute game like full out for you? Just let it all hang out, or do you pace yourself in a game like that? Or?
I think in a game like that, we should pace ourselves, and just try to move the ball around, communicate with each other, and just play the game.
Interesting. It's non-traditional season, but it's recruiting season too. Yep. And I know you're out there bringing in recruits. I think the viewers would like to know, though, about the inner workings of a recruiting. You're known for your recruiting, and I know you guys use a software program called Front Rush. A lot of coaches, a lot of schools out there using it. What is Front Rush, and how does that help you?
It's great for being more organized. It has all of our recruits in there. We also break them down into years, positions. So in any given year, we're getting in touch with and having a recruiting relationship with anywhere from 250 to probably 400 student athletes, depending on the class side we need to bring in.
So you're reaching out to up to 400 prospective high school students coming to Buffalo State and giving them the Buffalo State name.
Yes, whether that be from letters, emails, phone calls, contacting coaches, contacting their parents.
Wow.
So Front Rush really organizes it. So me and my staff, any conversation or any interaction we have with those student athletes gets inputted into Front Rush.
Okay.
So if I were to call a prospective student athlete one week, my assistant would be able to go in the next week, see what we talked about, and then lead into offer that conversation to make sure we're not talking about the same things.
Right.
We're keeping it fresh. We're giving them new information every time.
And I think that's very important. There's a communication thread there, so you know what Tom had talked about and blah, blah, blah. So that's important. This software program still takes people to input data to make it work.
Yes, but it's great. It has an app on the phone, so if you're making a phone call, you can do it through the application. Then it records that time of the phone call. It records how long. So then afterwards, all you need to do is just bullet point what you talked about.
Incredible. Mark, what do you look for, though? We've got about a minute and a half left. I mean, are you looking for a special kind of player, or do you see your future? Okay, here, in 2 years, we're going to need this, this, and this. How do you go about your recruiting philosophy?
I think you try and do that. We try and do 2 years in advance. Right now, we're trying to wrap up our 2015s, but we've also got over 100 student athletes for 2016 that we're in touch with. So you try and do that. Obviously, things happen.
Sure, absolutely.
People are not here the following year, so that changes. But you know, we try and bring in the best student athletes possible, both in the classroom and on the field. And you know, typically we're going after that Division I talent that we're trying to show what we have to offer, because we have a lot to offer. So.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Bangle Magazine. But before we do, it's time for Joes versus Pros. Well, hi, everybody, and welcome back to Bangle Magazine. We are outside at beautiful Coyer Field on an absolutely beautiful spring day to do a little Joes versus Pros. And today we're going to run track. And with us, our pro, Shuntone Pricher. She is a junior from Brooklyn, a criminal justice major, the reigning 4x200 champion at the ECACs, and also our school record holder on that team. And Shuntone, what do you think about this? You're going up against the cross-country coach here at Buffalo State.
Yes, I'm excited. I heard this guy has been putting down numbers on the track, so I'm just ready to see what he got.
He's putting down numbers on the track. Well, that was back in 2009. So meet Ray Shadowens. Ray is new to Buffalo State, but maybe not to some of you. He used to be a former student athlete here, graduated in 2009. And Ray, you have wonderful track background. I mean, you were the conference champion in the 110-meter hurdles.
That is correct. Like you said, though, 2009 was a long time ago.
Well, you look like you're – well, okay, I was going to say you look like you're in shape, but I'm assuming there were a few cheeseburgers in the last 5 years.
A few visits to Moe's, a few of those in there.
A proud corporate partner of Buffalo State Athletics. Okay, here's how we're going to play the game, kids. It's a 200-meter dash, Ray, okay? 200-meter dash. We're going to give Ray a 10-meter head start. Shutone's going to obviously catch him and speed right by you. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's going to happen pretty quickly probably, but hopefully I can just finish.
Well, it's an absolutely beautiful day. Let's have some fun with it, and let's see how it goes.
Wow, what a absolutely terrific race, but there's some huffing and puffing going on, and it's not from Shuntone. Ray, how'd that go for you, if you can talk?
I am struggling a little bit. Not even the 10 meters could save me on that one.
A few too many cheeseburgers, and what was it like for you to race an old guy like this?
The race was exciting. It was fun.
And you did great, so congratulations to both of you. Thanks for playing Joes versus Pros.